Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review a new film that came out this weekend that's getting a lot of buzz from a lot of different people, and it's called It Comes at Night. And this film is tense and freaky, and the second the first teaser came on, I was hooked. Like, I need to see this movie, and I was super excited about it, and this film definitely lived up to the intense expectations that I had going into this film, and how I was feeling leaving was like it was a real gut punch. And I've been thinking about this film all day since I saw it this morning, and I'm sure I'll be thinking about it for days as well. It's one of those kinds of films. And Trey Edward Schultz directed and wrote this film, and what a masterful job he does directing this film. Everything feels so perfect and done exactly how it seems he wanted it to be done. Balancing very quiet and eerie long shots, and being able to create real tension and without having to show a whole lot. And that's something that's very, very hard to do. A lot of horror films, it's like jump scares, obnoxious loud music, and in terms of showing like monsters and stuff like that, this film is built on paranoia. And I think the thing that I can say about this film that means the most is that this film made me really, really suspicious and thinking about a lot of things and questioning a lot of things. And I think that's a wonderful thing. That's when a film really, really affects you. And this film did that. Being able to hold onto long shots or just tracking shots, and allowing the medium of film to be able to move that camera in a way that builds to a point of you waiting so intensely for something to happen. And sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes something happens that you don't expect. And but you're in a situation where everything you see makes you question what's coming next, and that is exactly what this film did, and it was super exciting. In terms of the pace of this film, this is very, very drawn out, takes its time, and that's what honestly helped build this film to a fever pitch by the end. Is this is such a slow burn in such a craftful, well done way that I didn't feel bored, but I was sitting there, couldn't wait for whatever was going to come next. And that was super exciting for me. And I was sitting on the edge of my seat this whole entire film thinking, where's this going to go? What's going to happen? What's been going on this whole entire film? And there's an interesting use of storytelling with nightmarish sequences and balancing that and being able to use that to feed into our anxiety and our fears that might be happening versus what's actually going on, and is that really what's affecting us. And really, when it comes down to the writing of this film and how well it was put together, every little thing can be questioned as, is that really what I thought it was? Is that really what I expected? And I think that's a really powerful thing. And Schultz does a fantastic job of writing this film too, and building the dialogue in a way that even the smallest hints of something can mean so much, or seemingly mean so much, but is it really what's been going on? And building this paranoia was so effective in this film, and it's a very interesting story and doesn't have to spoon feed you a whole lot. When there's exposition, it's done in a contextual way that makes sense to the story, with this new family coming into this home and needing to explain how this family that we're going through the story with lives and their rules, and you'll only hear that when you need to. And this film doesn't take you for granted that you're an idiot and you need to be spoon fed everything. It allows you to build up tension, build up to a point where you can thoroughly get out of this film what you need, but not beat you over the head with what you might not need. And that is such a smart way of writing. Honestly, the only significant criticism I could possibly make about this is you don't get a whole lot of characterization or development until halfway through the film, and you're not so worried about it because it's so well done and there's so much happening and still impactfully emotional going on in this film that you kind of forget you don't know much about these characters. And but the thing is, there's events, there's a catalyst that you feel for this family, but eventually you do wind up getting to know some of the characters, and some of them not so much. Unfortunately, the mother of this family honestly doesn't get a whole lot of characterization at all, except that she's a dutiful wife and an extremely loving mother. And that's a significant part of her character, but there's not much personality to it. And as of right now, looking at this film, this is honestly my number 3 film of the year. And the only thing that's keeping it down from that is that some other films that do some of the same things and in such a smart way and a powerful way also give some very interesting characters with a lot of personality that's fun to watch. You don't quite get that in this until towards the very end, where you really get to develop some kind of connection to some of the characters and really get a sense of some of the characters. You see most of this film through this young son, he's a teenager, this son's point of view. And the most interesting thing is what he's going through, really what's going on, or what we are actually seeing, or the frame of reference that we have, really what's going on. And this is a very mysterious film, and that's what I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't want to spoil anything. And the cinematography by Drew Daniels is impeccable. The shots, how it's framed. There's so many shots in this film that could be a piece of art on their own, with just how beautiful and well crafted they are and well envisioned they are. And you see some of those shots in the trailer, and they're so much more resonant in the film, with just like a framing of a dog barking out into a barren woods, and how frightening that is and how unsettling that is. Or a long tracking shot towards a dark hallway with a red door at the end of the hallway. Is something going to happen? Is that door going to open? What's going to happen? What's inside? And so many of those shots were so impactful and tense, and you had no idea what was going to happen next. And everything in this film is even more elevated by Brian McAmber's score. The soundtrack in this film is unique and interesting and impactful, and is creepy when it needs to be, and solemn and emotional when it needs to be. And that is super, super effective in this film, and makes every scene in this film on a higher level. And that's what a really great score does. Now, in terms of the acting, everyone in this film does a good job. Some of the actors get to shine a little bit more. Joel Edgerton, who plays the father of the main family, you really get a feel for him, and he plays off this intensity and this paranoia and this dutifulness and a physical performance too of a run-down man so well. And I was really, really impressed by Joel Edgerton in this film. And early on, I could see him getting some consideration for Best Actor. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more personality-driven roles that other actors are going to be able to flesh out, bigger, showier performances. But what he did in this film was so intense and affecting. It was really impressive to me, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. Carmen Ejogo, who plays the mother, is very emotive and very strong, with the not so much material she necessarily gets to dig into in this film. And then we have Kelvin Harrison Jr., who plays the son, Travis. He is our focal point, and he does a great job of carrying himself in this film, especially in scenes where Joel Edgerton a much more experienced actor, is very intense and really bringing it. And Kelvin really takes a step up and really makes us feel and resonate with what's going on. Christopher Abbott, who plays the other husband, does a nice job, and Riley Keough, not sure if I said that right, but she does a fantastic job, and she gets a couple of scenes to really show her chops and really pull on some personality in moments, and they have some great chemistry together. One thing that I did wish that we got a little bit more was seeing the connection between the husband and the wife of the main family, which you don't really get to see a whole lot of affection or connection between the two of them, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that's going along with some of the characters might not have the most personality or connections that bring this down slightly. But this film is, don't go in with a whole lot of knowledge, don't be talking to people, just go see this movie and really experience it. And this movie is not crazy over the top kind of monster movie. This is paranoia really digging in and affecting you, and this will have you thinking for days if you let it really sink in and really take this film in and give it the time that it needs. It's only an hour and 35 minutes. It does feel, it's not like a quick high energy kinetic energy feel of pace. It takes its time, it's gonna linger, but let it linger because it has you keep thinking about everything that's going on, and that's a fantastic thing. I'm gonna give It Comes at Night an A.